Hello everyone and welcome to this video where I'll be showing you how to make a document folder. This folder design is easy to open for you to put your files and documents in it. Although lightweight, it is thick and durable and not easy to be broken. To make your own folder, it is recommended to use a waterproof fabric to prevent damage from spilled drinks and any other related accidents, leaving your documents safe. You can make yours see-through or transparent. This all depends on what vinyl type you intend to use. You also have the option to make it horizontal or vertical, and I have provided pattern pieces that allows you to be able to make both options. Without further ado, let's make our document folder. To make this document folder, you need the following: a waterproof fabric, vinyl or faux leather. In fact, any vinyl should work. I'm making use of this printed vinyl I designed myself. You'd also need a 50-inch long binding that measures about 3/4 of an inch wide, so that when folded around the edges of the folder, it would measure about 3/8 of an inch on each side. Trust me, you do not want to make use of a thick material for your binding. Metric measurements or conversions will be provided in the description below. You also need a stud press kit or whatever it is called where you are. This is what I have here. You could use plastic buttons, snap buttons, or metal press buttons. It depends on what you have or what you can find around you at the moment. You need this to make your button or snap closure for the documents folder. You also need your sewing machine, of course, and your determination to start and finish the document folder. I have just 3 pattern pieces here, and I'll be showing you what they are. These 3 pattern pieces have been cut out of my preferred vinyl. So I have the front piece, which is the one with the curved edge that goes inward. Then I have the back piece, which is just a basic rectangular piece, as well as the flap piece, which is a triangular shaped piece. And as you can see, this is the horizontal version. For the vertical version, pattern pieces are slightly similar, except that they are in a vertical format as opposed to that of the horizontal version. So in this case, you still have your back piece, which is a basic rectangular piece. You have your front piece, which has a less wider curved edge that goes inward, as well as your flap, which is slightly smaller but still rectangular in shape. So there you have it. I have introduced the pattern pieces needed for the document folder. Now we're going to start sewing. Remember at the beginning I told you you need a 50-inch long binding for this project. You can now get it out as we start making this folder. To start with, you need to bind the curved edge of the front piece, as well as the slant edges of the flap piece. To bind the curved edge of the front piece, you need about a 14-inch long binding, and what you'll be doing is to fold the already made binding around the edge of the front piece. And when I say edge, I mean the curved edge of the front piece. and also round the slant edges of the flap, and you clip in place. When you're done clipping, you'll be top stitching this binding at about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Now that top stitching is done, the next thing I'll be doing is to lay the back piece wrong side facing me. Then place the front piece with the bound edge right side facing me on the back piece so that the wrong sides are together. Ensure straight edges are well aligned, especially at the bottom and at the sides. Then clip round both pieces, leaving open the curved edge of the front piece. You're going to be basting in place at about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. Basting is already done, and we're going to be doing seam for the flap piece. So for the flap, place the piece at the top edge of the back piece. Clip in place and paste at about 1/8 of an inch as well from the top edge. Basting is now done. We're going to be folding the remaining bias binding round all the raw edges of the folder that you just basted, and you clip in place. After clipping in place, you're going to be top stitching round at about 1/8 or 1/4 of an inch from the edge. But before I continue, I'd like to quickly show you how to also make the vertical format, and to let you know that you can decide not to bind the curved edge of the front piece as well as the slant edges of the flap piece, which is what I'm doing with the vertical format. You can also do this with the horizontal version. So what I did was just lay the back piece wrong side facing me, then I placed the front piece right side on the back piece so that wrong sides are together, just like we did the other time with the horizontal version. But this time around, like I said, we're not binding the edges of any of the pieces. So I ensure that edges were well aligned, clipped around both pieces, basted at about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. After this, I placed the flap piece at the top edge of the back piece, clipped and basted at about 1/8 of an inch from the edge. And then I just did the same thing I did with the horizontal version, where I folded the remaining bias binding around the raw edges of the folder that I just basted, and clipped in place and top stitched. And here, our documents folder is 90% done, or maybe 95% done. So at this point, you see that I've finished both the horizontal and the vertical versions of the document folder. Then this is where we'll now try to get the positioning for the snap buttons. For the snap buttons, I'm first going to get my preferred position for the male part of the button, which is what I'm doing right now, and this will be done on the flap. So I've gone ahead to install my button according to the manufacturer's instructions, and I will also go ahead to do that on the horizontal version as well. So after installing the male parts of the snap button, I'll be using the male part of the button to determine the position of the female button. And I will also go ahead to install the female button following the manufacturer's instructions. So when I'm done with the vertical version, I'm going to do the same thing with the horizontal version. Note that when you're installing the female button, it might be a bit difficult or maybe tight, depending on the snap button kit you're using or whatever you'll be using to install the buttons. So you might have to fold a bit so that you can get to where you're going to install the female button. But like I said, it depends on what you're using. Maybe you might have something that is longer that can get to that place easily. If you're using something like I'm currently using, then you might have to fold in a bit. Make sure the flap piece is out of the way. Then when you're done, you can close your document folder, put your documents or files in there, and then you're done. So maybe no need to buy those document folders, those clear document folders, when you can make a fancy one like this, and then we're done. So here is how to make the document folder in your favorite or your preferred vinyl or fabric. We have just finished the document folder in two different formats, the horizontal and the vertical format. I hope you enjoyed making this folder. I'd like to see your own version of the folder when you're done. Don't forget to share your mix in our Facebook group, in your favorite sewing groups, on Instagram, or on any other social media platform. While you're at it, hashtag EasySew or EasySew Documents folder so I can see what you have created. To have access to the pattern I've used to make this folder, follow the instructions to download your own file in the description below. Please give this video a thumb up and share to anyone you feel might be interested. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.